Hey guys, how's it going? Grindhead Jim here. Um, Wanted to talk about something today that would fit on my channel, but I think it makes just as much sense, if not more, to talk about here. And that's community within video games. So many games have multiplayer components and development components and are live, breathing entities. I mean, we're looking at Destiny right now, which is something that many of you do play, many of you don't play, and there's very strong opinions on this game. The same could be said for Warframe, which is one of Gamertron's favorites. Same could be said for communities like Call of Duty, Halo, and many, many, many other games. And they're extremely important things to have in today's culture because without community, games die. You'll see a lot of games that are multiplayer based, and if no one plays them or no one supports them, they die, pure and simple. And that's a shame. It's not something that anyone ever wants to see. And yet it does seem to happen. So, as a result, it's important to have that in your sights, so to speak. So, looking at a game like Warframe, Warframe has been in beta for a long time. Some would argue that it should not be considered to be in beta at this stage. Mainly because of the feedback from the community has been thus that the game has really come full circle from where it started from. Very different game. When it first started to where it launched on the PS4 outside of the PC, and then now where it is on PC and PS4 where they're being developed simultaneously. And the game's completely different to where when I booted it last June or July, I think it was, I almost didn't recognize it. It was really interesting. And the majority of those changes were driven by community feedback. People saying, I do like this, I don't like this, let's do this, let's not do that. And the same can be said for games like Destiny. And that's the type of communities that those games really foster, where there's a direct line of communication between the developer and the player to develop a better living, breathing playground for us to, live out fantasies, because that's what we're doing in games. We're expressing ourselves. We're living out fantasies, and it's really something that's important to a lot of people. As far as a lot of passion on the internet about this, and why community is such a polarizing thing is that people's emotions do tend to run high, and it's something that you tend to kind of bank your online game on. I mean, look at like Call of Duty, for example. Call of Duty, for what it's worth, is, again, a very polarizing game. It has a very sort of, you either love it or you hate it for the most part. You don't really have a lot of casual Call of Duty players. You're people that basically play Call of Duty the way a lot of people play sports games. And I would liken the Call of Duty series to that of a sports game, because it has a yearly life cycle. Love it or hate it, that's the model that they're under. And just the type of player that it tends to attract is more based on the visceral here and now experience. They're not much interested in spending a lot of time analyzing story or analyzing in-game bugs or things like that. At least not for the most part. The majority of people playing those types of games aren't doing that versus a Warframe or a Destiny, or even a Battlefront or something like that, where Battlefront's got a lot of similarities to Call of Duty or Battlefield, but yet tends to attract a bit more of a ethereal gamer as opposed to a visceral one. So it really kind of boils down to how you want your community to relate to one another, and it's important. I mean, look at and I know I'm jumping around a bit here, but I just want to give a lot of examples of what a community can do. Evolve, when it came out, really sort of it had a bad rap going in because of the way they were marketing things, and it didn't have the best launch. It really didn't. They've turned it around in a lot of ways, and power to them. But I think the main reason that game did kind of stick is that there were some diehards that really stuck to the game. And without that community feedback, who knows where they'd be right now. You learn to rely on the people that enjoy your game. And that's really what all of this boils down to is, the developers depend upon us as gamers to give them that feedback. As long as you're constructive and respectful about it, most of the time they're going to appreciate it. But then, of course, there's the relationship between the gamers themselves and each other. Is your community a strong one built on helping each other out, like in Warframe or Destiny? Or is it Call of Duty or Battlefield where it's all competitive all the time and there's nothing I can do to help you? Mainly because the games just aren't designed for Sherpaing, if you're familiar with the term, or if you're not, it's just a term about helping people through harder stages of certain gameplay and things like that. So, does your game support fostering a community? Does the community support fostering itself? And, those are all factors that are going to really contribute to how long your game lives or dies, which is an interesting thing to consider. So what do you guys think? Do you think that gaming is synonymous with community these days? I know there's always been a call for the single-player game where the game is played by yourself, offline, in solitude. And I think those games will always have a place in our culture. But I think that the push has been for larger communities. I mean, even Fallout, which is a game like that, has a large community of people that really enjoy what's going on. The modding community is another way that people enjoy what is otherwise a solitary game in a group mentality. What are some other examples you guys can think of? And how do you think the communities should be able to grow in the future? Let us know below. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. This has been a video. We'll see you next time. Cheers.